Well, hello folks, I'm back. Welcome back to the basement. Welcome back to another Cellotar project. Today we're here to discuss Cellotar modifications, customizations, and tweaks. And we're going to be taking our friend, our loyal travel companion, the F-style Cellotar that I built in the initial video. And I'm going to be putting an F-hole in the body so that it has more acoustic presence and because it'll look cool on this episode of the Cellotar. So I have the page of F-holes from the plans here. You can see we have a traditional shaped upper, traditional shaped lower, and then a modern elongated diamond shaped upper and lower. So in this case, thinking what I want is the traditional upper. So what I'm going to do is cut it out. Now you could cut the inside out with like an X-Acto knife, and that might be a little easier to trace, but I am not equipped at the moment for that, so I'm just going to cut the F-hole shape out along the outlines. And you'll notice that F-holes have this symmetrical quality around the diamond in the middle, where like it'll flow out of one of the holes to the diamond and then abruptly stop and bend back, and then it does the opposite on the other side. It's part of why they look so nice, is the lyrical quality of those lines. And something I was thinking about is, you know what the ideal fretboard material would be for this? Would be to 3D print it out of one of those wood 3D print materials. That would be rad, and you could print in the frets so it wouldn't be zip ties or a separate piece. That would be pretty cool. It would actually end up looking a lot like the fingerboard from a guitar viol, but those are handmade and cast. Let's be clear, this tiny hole is not going to turn this into an acoustic instrument, but what it might do is free up the top to vibrate a little more, and it will make it louder acoustically, because right now all the sound is generated by the vibrating top is just contained internally, and that's better for feedback resistance. It's not good if you want to actually mic this thing at all, and I've found that it's actually the best recording setup for this that I have found is the line-in for low and middle frequencies, and then a microphone pointed at the top. It gives you a chimier, nicer, brighter high end, and then in the mixing you can adjust those however you like. So if you're planning on playing this in a high gain live situation, I would not add this F-hole. But if you want a little more flexibility and a little more recording capability, then yes, I would add the F-hole. Alright, so now I gotta sort out exactly where this goes on here. Kind of a judgment call. But the further you get it away from where the bridge sits, the better, because otherwise the hole might weaken the top material and you might end up having the bridge cant a little bit by pushing down the wood on that side. Now, since the top is plywood, that's less likely to happen than if it were a solid Sitka spruce or something, but it still can happen. So there's two things we need to make sure. We need to make sure the F-hole is completely over the cavity, So you're gonna unscrew the access door on the back so that we can actually see where that's happening. And we'll need to do that anyway in order to clean up all the sawdust once we cut the hole. So go ahead and screw all the screws on this access door. Right off. And then do need to note our pickup cables there. Definitely don't want to cut through those when we drill the holes for the F holes. So if I can tape those down to get them out of the way there. Just peel off some duct tape. Down the back side of the body so they're out of the way of the drill. So now when we put this on here, we can see where it aligns or doesn't align with that. And main takeaway I'm seeing is it needs to go further back than I thought because the cavity doesn't go that far forward. Alright, let's figure this out. Okay, so I think I have sorted out where I want it. It is further back than I thought, but I'm trying to get the angle as close to where it should be on a traditional violin or guitar as possible. So what I'm going to do now is, since the body is primarily black, I'm going to draw around the outline with the silver Sharpie marker. I'll be cutting that outline. I'm trying not to distort the template at all. It would be better to have this template on thicker paper or cardstock so that it can't as readily change shape. But I have rarely been accused of doing things the right way when it comes to building these instruments on my guitar modding. Since this is just a hobby of mine, I don't really do things the way you're supposed to. Kind of leave that sort of thing in my professional work. Alright. There we go. We've got our F hole drawn on there. And just confirming. Yeah, it looks like that's pretty much within the cavity. If you have any spillover, you can wipe this off with rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. Sharpie marker comes right off with rubbing alcohol. So what we need to do now is just drill a couple holes big enough to get the blade of the skill saw into. So I'm just going to drill some large holes here. Alright, so you'll see that we got significant tear out on those holes. And so since we're doing this to an already finished instrument, this is something we need to take note of. So I drilled the holes smaller than the final hole. And what we need to do next is we need to go real slow and careful with the skill saw and probably use the narrowest blade we can, because we don't want tear out along our cuts. Because what we're going to be doing is going back just with Sharpie marker and drawing black on the exposed wood. So let's do that now. Okay, so now you can see the jigsaw blade fits into the holes that we cut. Just make sure, yep, these aren't anywhere near our cables for the pickup system. So now we're going to very carefully cut these lines that we drew. So now we got the main part out. You can see daylight through there now. So now we just need to do the circular parts of the ends of the F hole. Alright, so we got the hole cut have a bit of tear out, but we can fix that. And the round parts on the ends of the F-holes are pretty hard to get. I don't have a very narrow blade, so I'm going to go back and sand to clean up the edges I cut. And when I do that, I'm going to try to round those circular end points of the F-hole. And don't forget to wear your safety glasses, kids. All right, so I got my roughest sandpaper grit, and we're gonna clean this up. Going very lightly here just to get all the little stringies off. All right, so it's not perfect, but we don't want to do too much because once again, this instrument is already finished, so gotta be careful. All right, so you can see I got a bunch of marks on the top of the finish now. That's from the underside of the jigsaw touching it. Now I'm gonna try one of these black regions, Sharpie over it and rub it in and see if that helps. Yeah, it seems like it makes it less visible. I don't know. All right, so let's just do the F-hole first. So once again, you should cut your F-hole before you finish the instrument. But if you're doing this kind of crazy thing like me, after cutting it, we now need to go back and color in all the exposed wood black. So I'm just painting the inside edge of the plywood with this Sharpie marker. And then that sanding beveled some of the edges, so I'm getting the beveled edges also. And you know, you could paint the entire inside of the access cavity if you wanted to. That would probably be better. But for this side, for the top side, I'm just using the Sharpie because you know we already have a transparent finish. So we don't want to spray paint the top and have it ruin the wood grain that you can see through the top. So sharper marker it is just because it's more accurate, I say as I have it slip out of my hand and go everywhere. So anyway, you can see now it looks better with the inside edge of the plywood black from the Sharpie marker. And then, you know, you could paint the inside of the cavity, spray it. If you're going to do that and you have a transparent finish like this, I would put tape over the F-hole first from the front side so that when you spray in here it doesn't get on the front. In fact, I'm going to go do that now. So you can see I just sprayed black in there. It's still wet, but that'll mean when you look at it from the front side you won't see anything but black inside. Then I just went back and sprayed some more black to clean up the issues along the edge from the jigsaw. So looking better now. So once you're done making the F-hole, just flip it over, take off the tape holding those cables out of the way. Take your cavity cover, pop it back on. There you go, and now it's all black in there because the cavity cover is black and we painted everything black on the inside, so now it's just black. And you can see the cables through there. If that bothers you, you could use hot glue to make them stay where they wouldn't be visible. Alright, so another issue I've had with this instrument is the original pink finish has been chipping through, and I really didn't like the job I did on the headstock decal. So we're just going to paint over with more black and then put on a new decal. So there we go, just a little paint over. This time I used white water slide decal paper, which is way better for dark backgrounds, and it looked a heck of a lot better.